Good afternoon, everybody. The topic for today's video is Kumyk people, a Turkic ethnic group spread across various republics of the North Caucasus. The overall number of Kumyks in Russian Federation reaches up to 500,000 people. The vast majority of Kumyks reside in Dagestan Republic, where their number reaches 430,000. Kumyks represent majority in following districts of Dagestan: Karabudakh Kent, Buynaksk, Kaya Kent, Babayurt, and Kumtorkala. A native Kumyk population can also be found in Mozdok district of North Ossetia and Gudermes and Shelkovskoy districts of Chechnya. In addition, as a result of large-scale unemployment in Dagestan, thousands of Kumyk have moved to the oil-rich northern regions of Russia, such as Khanty-Mansiysk Autonomous Oblast or Yamalo-Nenetsky Autonomous Okrug. Kumyks are Sunni Muslims. Kumyk language belongs to Kipchak branch of Turkic language family. It consists of four main dialects: Kaytag, Terek, Buynaksk, and Khasavyurt. The later two dialects became the building blocks of the colloquial Kumyk language. Remarkably, until 1930s, Kumyk was a lingua franca for the multi-ethnic population of northeastern Caucasus, but eventually was replaced by Russian language. Kumyks call themselves Kumuk. Remarkably, Dargin and Avar people call Kumyks Dirkalanti and Tlaragal, respectively, which means inhabitants of lowlands. The origins of Kumyk people remain understudied. The first group of scholars believe that Kumyks are descendants of the ancient Turkic tribes migrated to the Caucasus thousands of years ago. The second group of scholars, however, reject this hypothesis and propose the Caucasian origin of Kumyk people, meaning that the ancestors once spoke not Dagestani languages but adopted Turkic dialects centuries ago. The formation of Kumyk ethnicity took place in 12th and 13th century during the emergence of two Kumyk majority states, Tarki-Shan Khalate and Mehtuli Khanate. Compared to other feudal states of Dagestan, the rulers of Tarki-Shan Khalate did manage to establish a stable and sophisticated governance system and institutions. Tarki-Shan Khalate even had ministers. The center of the state was town Tarki, once a central crossroad and trading point of the Caspian seashore, nowadays a suburban area of Makhachkala city. In 1577, rulers of Tarki-Shan Khalate pledged allegiance to the Sultan of Ottoman Empire. In the 18th century, following the Russian invasion in the Caspian Sea coast, led by Peter the Great, Tarki-Shan Khalate was conquered and incorporated in the Russian Empire. During the Russian-Caucasian War, at least 3 anti-colonial uprisings in Kumyk-populated territories broke out, but were eventually defeated. Following the establishment of the Soviet Union and formation of Dagestan Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic, the homeland of Kumyk people became a part of this republic. During the tragic events of 1940s and deportation of Chechen and Ingush people, some Kumyk communities were forcefully deported from Dagestan to abandoned Chechen villages. After the rehabilitation of Chechens, they have returned back to Dagestan. As the result of failed policy of Russian central government and Dagestani local authorities, lowlands populated by Kumyks turned to be a powder keg of Dagestan due to the ethnic tensions between native Kumyks and Avar settlers. Historically, Avar herders were using pastures in Kumyk lowlands during the winter season. Avar herders had small settlements called kutans, where they were spending winter with their families. After the collapse of Soviet Union, the uncontrolled migration of Avars from mountains has begun. The permanent illegal Avar settlements have emerged and Avar populations started to grow exponentially. The rapidly changed demographic landscape resulted in inter-community conflicts over the disputed pasture lands between two ethnic groups. Despite being Turkic people, Kumyk culture shares more similarities with Dagestani peoples rather than peoples of Central Asia, Turks or Azerbaijanis. Historical Kumyk village Kafir Kumyk is one of the oldest settlements of Dagestan. The village had multiple medieval castles and the palace of Abu Muslim Khan, built on the top of a mountain. The palace has been destroyed by Russian administration during the construction of the railways, while the other historical monuments collapsed during the earthquake in 1970s. Thanks for watching us and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.